Check out the Bitcoin. Well, this is the weekly chart. Bitcoin with a 3-period RSI. It doesn't get much better than this. It's the end of the year. Bitcoin got its ass kicked the whole year. Capitulation under this floor from 12 weeks ago or some crazy number, 14 weeks ago. Only look back 28 bars. How many bars do you look back? I don't know. So this is obvious market structure here. And if you have the patience to wait for the setups on the weekly, God bless you. I could never do it. Look at this beautiful divergence up here on the Bitcoin using the 3-period RSI, which is pretty conservative because you could use a 2-period, which would be a little bit neurotic, but you could do it. Here's your first divergence. Oops, that's not gonna work. That's gonna be up here, but here's your reversals that are supposed to kick in. They don't. Here's your tightest one, I would say, right there. Oops. I can't seem to grab the edge of that. I got my pixels set too tight. Okay, so here is your first. Now this is a count of, oh geez, this is 0, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's pretty long-legged. And so this is your first positive reversal, we'll call it. And that's supposed to keep going there. It's supposed to be a buy signal. So if you look at the first kicking point off here, the Bitcoin, when it jumped out of this box where everybody was losing their mind, don't forget, it had never been this high in the world of life. In all mankind, Bitcoin has never been. And here's a top become a bottom, just very subtle. High potency signal because it's a 3-period reversal. So these little baby zigzags are the most compelling in this triangle here. I don't know if I got triangle highlighted. I'm going to customize this real quick. Find a triangle. It'll save us drawing 3 things. Huh. Maybe I still have it on there. Maybe I have it already. Oh no, you're going to add it. So they got a bunch of, how about Fibonacci time zone? Anybody up for that? Talk about a rabbit's hole. I mean, talk about, now stay away from the ellipse because that's complete bullshit. So, but the triangle, the rectangle, and the horizontal line, I think horizontal always, the price level is going to be the most important thing in your life. Especially this top become a bottom theory in the big structure. So if I zoom out on Bitcoin right now, since Bitcoin really is a buy like never before, at least for the $5,000 window that we kind of just dipped into this week. So this is kind of a unique situation. We usually don't get this kind of, enough time's gone by, and RSI is at 20 right now. On this chart, if you only bought RSI below 50 and sold above 50 and continually pulled the trigger, don't forget, and you could clever enough to know what divergence looks like, or at least a lack of people moving it, pushing it around. So look at these really compressed, it's called the hidden signal, because inside of the divergence of this monster peak up here, which is about a 5-period move, is this, that would be nice to use that. Let's use an equal distance. So the first divergence I'm going to call out is going to be the beginning of the year on the weekly from, there's actually one just before that, but it's too shallow to draw. So here, this is like 5 or 6 period divergence. And then that gives us the buy signal. Actually, it's kind of subtle. On a 2-period RSI, it would show up actually, but you're out kissing this 50-yard line. So the 50-yard line, and you could just do tops become a bottom on price, right? You get the same kind of patterns because they're all line charts. I'm just using line chart on top, and the black wick is going to be the kind of the what people call smart money, but it entails you putting sell limits up there and shitting your pants as this wick forms. Don't forget that part of it. This is a weekly wick, so during the week, and that's what makes RSI so magical, because it's nothing but an index of momentum. And if you're doing structures, this triple bottom becomes a top here. This is definitely also, if you carry this forward, this line, underneath there you have a compressed divergence because, well, almost. But you get beautiful triangles formed because the market is stalling out up here in this whole window. It's stalling out. And, for the person that waited for this setup, I don't know who that one person would be to pull the trigger big enough on this trade to even make it worth it a while. I guess you wouldn't have to sell too much up here. Maybe you had a leveraged account at 20 to 1. I don't know what they were doing. I don't know if they're still doing it. This whole triangle situation up here is the key. This is the key. It's a trick, Shay. It's a trick. This is your Gartley pattern right here. Let me just tell you how this works now. Now, if you got so the Gartley thing is psychologically it's correct, but you can do Gartleys on RSI if you think that, but it's going to have to be closing prices in my opinion, because the wicks. I'm not calling this a double top. I'm actually thinking more in terms of, okay, what's the highest fucking high? What the highest fucking high Bitcoin's ever been in your whole brain that you can look forward and say, you know what? The people are calling for $1 million on this thing, right? Don't forget that. I can't even zoom out. Like this is all MetaTrader will let me take it is to like this high. I'd have to fix the scale and force it. If I force it to $1 million where people think this was going, this is at even if it made to $200,000 a coin. Don't forget. People would call out that number like casually, like it's going to go to like really okay. So that's interesting. But if you took this and carried it forward into the infinity, into the future, which it'll let us do that for sure. We can move this over. Don't forget. Then we'll compress the data a little bit to look at how dramatic and how fascinating the Bitcoin penny stock. It's penny stock, right? But look at this thing coming back to the floor. Now, we still haven't reached the golden entry. This tippity top Tommy guy back here. This is the big structure. So you got this whole field. I'd say you're coming into this possible window, but a lot of people already scalped it. If you go to the 4-hour chart, compare that with the weekly. Here's 4-hour RSI. So here's this serious failed reversal on the 4-hour. Now these are going to be a little bit more worth the trip because you don't have to be in this trade all fucking week. So you go to the 4-hour chart. So the week, that's cute there, right? This Bitcoin on the 4-hour basis, and look at this raid. Now this is like a big deal when Bitcoin fell below this floor. This was a serious situation. Had never been there. This is 1 week from each dotted line. So that's looking back 3 weeks when it fell through the floor here and everybody lost their mind at this price. And that was like when we got below the 20 handle, people were like, oh, really went below 20 again? Oh, shit. Now, if you had your ticket sitting at 16,000 a Bitcoin, and I told my buddies about this trade. I don't think anybody took it, but I said, whenever I meet anybody, I say, can you put limit orders at your broker, like all the way down to like $10 a Bitcoin for me, please? Just put, just whatever. If you might blow up the account, just put $1,000 in there and just have every time it drops, Bitcoin drops $1,000, just buy me, $100 worth. Jesus Christ, how can you go wrong on that fucking trade? At least you make like maybe $300 using $300. And who's gonna do that? No, they'd shit their pants. They'd be like, "Oh my God, really?" Now you could also be sitting here waiting for this insane trend line to form on the 4-hour chart, where you're going, "What?" So this is the first raid, and if you traded that wick, this one, everybody, when it came back to this floor here, so this was a great trade, right? If you bought this, you're buying the low of the week, just below the low of the week, and just below this shelf here, way back into this, and this is another key price, is this little launching point here. I'm sure a lot of people thought, well, that'll be just beautiful. Let's just ride that shit. And do trend lines work? Yes, fuck, trend lines really do work. So if you drew a trend line here and you said, well, on the 4-hour chart, I'm just going to draw a trend line on close. How could you fuck this up? There's a triangle. It leaves the station, right? Very bullish the whole week. Everybody's, oh, wow, it's so amazing. And there's probably people buying on this pullback. I know that if I was a short-term trader, I would just put a limit grid in right here. You know, it's going to, you know, if you think that there's any kind of uptrend that's been triggered, and most algos or most goobers, same diff, right? They're going to jump on that train. Look at this beautiful divergence here, though, in the 3-period RSI. So you can take that trade. A robot could take that stupid fucking trade. That's obvious. It just tell the robot only look back 5 bars. Only take 2 to 5 period signals. I'm sure you could write a robot like that. With a crude moving average, now it'd be a sell, right? This is divergence here, but it's going to be a buy in a little bit. Like I'd be putting limit orders in right now. My view of this is like, okay, maybe it is pulling back. Like, fuck, it's going to be a raid into this. Like, just put a fucking limit grid in there. People say, well, how do you know it? You don't. You just don't. Here, if you accumulated during this phase, you know, I'm putting, you know, regardless of RSI, this is the shelf. This is where the feeding frenzy is going to be. And sure, it could keep tanking. Look at this fucking thing. The wheels came off. Once they fed, or once, you know, people are like, wow, look, it just took out the high last fucking week. There's sellers fucking galore up there. Just like there was sellers galore up here. And if you could handle it, if you had deep enough pockets, you're selling everything above this shit. You're just looking back and going, oh, dude, was selling up there. Fuck. Now I'm buying down here. This is psychotic. The wheels are coming off the train. Look at gold. Gold. I'd sell gold like right now. I am so out of gold. Sorry, gold. It's bullshit. So we're coming back to the floor here on the gold. There's a daily. I'd be selling right there for the scalp. I'm just saying that the dailies. Come on, look at this beautiful bottom become a top in gold with RSI. Now this is a confirmation trade. This is why RSI is so. Gold's a pretty tame market. You know, there's a lot of people trading this shit, or just transferring in and out of it to kind of like, I mean, 15 years ago you could lease gold. People were leasing gold. Like, so you lease at this. It's really just another place to park money. I guess it's, you know, it's like a security because, you know, it's hard to print gold. But in the same thing, there's a lot of people in here long term. Same. Look at this top tick Tommy here. This is last year. This weekly chart. So that's the top from way back there. And yeah, so it's screaming up into here. I'd probably be selling that, right? The weekly. Now this is probably about a 7-period reversal here. If you had the patience to wait for that, at least you'd have a double reason to take that trade. You're coming into the floor against this more overbought lower price, and then you take your projection off that low. It's supposed to be your target. So the lowest low inside of that. And that's why people build channels. That's why it's easier to just take a channel and hook it to the closing price if you're going to do this channel shit, right? So if you just take this and hook it to the closing price, right? It's a perfect fit, right? Except the wicks. This is where people are like, yeah, I know RSI is beautiful, but what about this fucking wick? Like I sold here on this reversal, or this is how people get burned on RSI. Okay, see that reversal? Yeah, it's kind of subtle. I see it. Let's sell here. And we'll put a stop like, where should we put a stop? Oh, dude, well, you got to put your stop up here, you know. I mean, but really, the rules say put your stop up here, and I'm sure a lot of people did. And that's the place that the other guys are selling, and this is the turnaround, right? This is the too much inventory, you know, what are you going to say? This blip here, if you bought that, you're going to get out here. So the dumbass money management robots are going to get out there too. A lot of people are getting out there. But don't forget the sellers that came in here, early adopters, that'd be me. Like impatient people are going to sell into this top, this lonely wick up here. So you can turn on your, too bad you can't put fractals on the, on the RSI, but you can see the turnaround points. It's kind of obvious. Mountains and valleys, I just call this. If you're, you know, new to this, I would just say whatever you, or you could look at it as a, maybe a lie detector test. I don't know if you've done anything bad lately, I guess. But so, like here's a failure and a reversal. People are saying, well, look at RSI here, beautiful signal, right? You're out of the gate. This is the beginning of the year, and this is gold. So you know, oh, look at this beautiful reversal. Actually, a triple, you know, triple. And it's going to rip, right? It's going to rip up. And it actually it comes back deeper. Now, this is seriously deep. And this just isn't going to work, you know, because it's more about the rating of price here, I think. So there are buyers. I would be a buyer. Anything below this turnaround wick. So have a column of tickets in there. Just accept the risk, you know. Actually, as time goes on, you're going to martingale into that. You're going to have stacks and stacks of tickets going. Dude, if it ever comes back to this closing price here, I would pick this. The triple top, and this is structurally. So when the market closes like that, oh my God, if it closed down into that and I didn't have limit orders in, I mean, these kind of traps are really where you want to get in. So you want limit orders sitting anywhere below this, and on closing prices repeatedly building a position in this triple bottom on close. Look at the divergence off of that. So you put trend lines on the RSI, so you have a leading indicator. So here's your trend line break. You can make the argument this is like a angled index, right? So whatever this is, you're looking to break RSI first and price second. So here's your trend line, and you're trying to get in. Oh, this is about as tight as it gets right here. But you're looking at the divergence on that, and I guess this is going to be your first. That's why I marked off the 10, 20, the 50 line. See, this is 10 RSI. Starts to die out. Gold. I mean, it's gold for God's sakes. I mean, the world's coming to an end. Don't forget. And there's the nuclear war, right? So don't forget that's coming. So, yeah, they'd be banning you for that comment. So, like, here's your support becomes resistance idea, right? In RSI. And when you look at where is that in price though? What's going on during this? Well, so your downtrend lines. So here you break it, and you finally come back to the apex of that. But this is your reversal trade that kind of failed. I'm going to say this is a failure because this is supposed to be your sell. Well, no, that one works, but no, that one makes money. But eventually this becomes your pivot, right? So if you take this forward, but everybody's going to do that anyways. The guy that can handle buying gold, like just loading the wagon, because this is the deal, is this first slot. Well, we're above it now. And if I'm in a gold trader, I'm selling into this part because it's just ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous, right? This is like the fucking news. Oh, the world's coming to an end. I guess it's not. It's coming to an end. No, we're going to give you money. We'll bail you out of your loans. No, we're not. They just came out and said, no, that's not going to happen. Really? No fucking kidding. Duh. You just can't do that stuff. Come on. The fucking real world, right? So there's sellers up here, right? We believe. So all the way to here, and then where's the big sell? The big sell is going to be. Wait, we take off all these objects here. Yeah, fuck it. Let's stack them up. So everything above here is going to be insane. People are going to be just piling into that, going, right. And the big deal is the guy that can keep refreshing this. So every week, the more money you have. So if you're going to put $200 a month into your trading account, and you don't get too many trades going, but you're going to set your order banks, your stacks in like this. And like a checkerboard, so the higher that goes, you're going to have to really load the wagon above here now, right? So that becomes out in the distance. And you may not get a fill. So if you're very conservative, you may not get filled because you're being too fucking cheap. But if you're a slut and you step out in front of this thing, supposedly this is the sell, right? If you're going to say this is the transverse index on this RSI. RSI is very simple. The thing that is, like I said, the thing that's annoying is that it's a hindsight indicator because it's waiting for or at least you have to wait for the end of the close of the week. You have to wait for the end of the week now. So I don't have the patience for that. That's why I go to the 4-hour chart. But you can see how it's just painfully obvious what's going on here. The trick is it's got a rhythm to it. Closing prices, even without the RSI kind of reveals the momentum, the spring. It's spring loaded. Spring loaded, I think, from an up and down viewpoint. And it just makes it easy to draw a trend line. If you got nothing to do, like the weekly chart's going to take forever to update, don't forget. So here's your support on close. This is your top, become a bottom, right? But you got to wait for that. But really, in the end, it comes down to horizontal price because this is a key level. There's no way around it. Easy for me to picture laying track in front of this. Turn on a robot that's just going to keep laying 8-hour, 12-hour tickets all week long, and your weekly trader. You just if you could hold on to this gold trade on this triple bottom here, I mean, this is crazy, right? This is another. I'm going to say this is a hidden divergence because this is happening inside. There's the first long-legged divergence, then you have this. And it's just coming out of a triangle here, compression under the floor. Insane compression there. And it's locked in, and everybody's on the sell train because they're riding this reversal, which is failing pretty bad, and this should become the next buy point. If you keep pulling this forward like a slide rule, you can see your next trade, rhythmically speaking. So this is a rhythm that this is really a rhythm. Momentum is about, and if you have a moving average, you're waiting for the market to come back to it. This is why if you have a 8-period moving average, simple moving average, and you stick to the strict rule of only buying RSI when you're below that. Now you will get whipsawed, and this comes down to position sizing and your how many tickets and how many stops how wide your stops are. Because if you put a 200 pip stop, you're gonna risk $20 a trade on a 1K, and say $1 or something like this, and you're willing to accept that risk. And you look at the chart and you put up a 100 pip grid. I mean, I can show anybody how to do that, but of course, if you traded with a 10 pip grid and you trade very large and you have very tight spread, you may say, well, I mean, I'm making so much money here, like I'm making that I don't have to really hold on to these really wide swing trades. So if you're in some god awful instrument that has a 10 pip spread or goes to 40 pips over the weekend because there's nobody holding on to the other side of the trade, then that's a problem. So you end up there with the with that view of the world. So I'm kind of talking to the person here that can I guess afford to have a 50 pip stop. Let's say you can risk $5 a ticket. So how many? You see this lottery thing going on? How fucking ridiculous! And then they're like, "Oh yeah, we're not sure we can do a drawing here. It's getting kind of big. Like Lloyd's of London dropped out. Like nobody wants to insure our latest. Like you're gonna be happy. Just wait till you have all this money, dude. You'd be so afraid you're gonna die. You'd be wearing 20 masks and a butt plug. You're gonna be all fucking wrapped up in the corner like some fucking." Scared shitless fucking human in the middle of a fucking chaotic world. People think the gold's going up, dude. I'd be selling gold so hard here, especially if if freedom comes back to the States. The gold market's just gonna melt down, literally. I don't know. Real estate's gonna be the place to be, I think. But I think it's going to stabilize. 80% of the market's just doing nothing. It's just treading water. It's very boring. It's brutal. Look at the daily gold. So you got this. It's easy to see the trend lines here as soon as you switch time frames. These trend lines hold together pretty good. Here's a long-legged divergence. So on the daily, I'm going to look way out here and say, yep, there's a reversal. So this is the same touch point on the weekly. Roughly. But in the end, isn't it really about this trade? Don't you just want this trade all day long? Here's a daily chart. Candlesticks, kind of like a little ghost. Got a ghosted out candlestick. I like the bars, but if you want to go full candle, never go full candle. No, if you trade candlesticks, you got to know how to really load the fucking wagon here. Now, if you see a doji, I would say, like I said, I talk about the doji bot. In other words, the delta breakout traders. So you're waiting for the triangle, or the you're waiting for the market to totally die on the dailies. Of course, this isn't fair because this has probably got Sunday's prices in it, which is just going to be a doji all the time. But you can trade the breakout of you're trading the breakout of the month, I suppose. Breakout of the week, because you got 6 bars here, so it's a little distortion. But the big deep trades here, where you're buying all this shit down here to dump it, and I'm sure people are selling like crazy right now. This is a pretty steep bar into this thing, and I'd say, if we hit this, there's sellers up above this turnaround. I'm going to take this is a perfect doji. Beautiful. Not a perfect top, become a bottom if you're looking back to the latest known bottom. But the market's pretty well behaved in that sense. People say this is so predictable. Yes, I guess so. Now, if you're waiting for this to close here, you still got to give it enough room where your stop, if you're going to do a strict stop, because the classic stops are back here, but this becomes the next feeding frenzy zone. And all these trades are amazing trades. If you're going to just if you can see this low, this does matter into the future. This is a real thing. This isn't. Now I know people are calling that smart money, but really that's just old prices that haven't been seen in a while. And if we ever see this price, people can't wait. Like if I see gasoline, so it's so funny because there's 50-cent differences. There's a space here in town where there's a 50-cent difference. If you just drive about 2 miles, it's 50-cent difference in gas. But it's because it's so highly priced. The swings are insane. Look at the gold market up here. Look at how frantic. Now, if you have a logarithmic chart, you don't really see the drama as much. Now, if you go to the monthly chart of gold is very like, coming back to this low, yikes almighty. That's why I think gold's doomed. And if you do a top become a bottom in RSI, I'll do a trend line. So I want to force a trade actually with the RSI because I want to say use it to force a trade. I love to force a trade, and I guess I can't be an angry trader anymore. It's just too much stress. But this bottom becomes a top in RSI. This is really why it works, is because if you have the patience to wait for that setup, this is the last known launching point. This is also the inflection for this trend line. So this is based on the same stuff. Now, it would be a reversal if we wait long enough for this to get above this price, but this closing price never gets above here. It's a guaranteed reversal. So if a computer could be looking for that setup to happen, we'll keep waiting for this marches up and up and up here. Ever make it into this, it's going to be crazy. So this is the big the contention. So we've been there, we've done that. These kind of things. When you crash the structure and you blow the structures out, you blow them out in the RSI too. But that's the edge, is that you have this. Keep pressing against the RSI. This is not really a reversal, but and you're right. This is high drama. So this can't last either. The buyers want to. The smart money, so to speak, I would say, is going to buy any kind of pullback. If gold can make it the really cheap people are going to put, and they may never get filled. The very cheap people probably won't get filled. It's like, dude, what? You're waiting for Bitcoin to go to 10 grand? I would certainly nibble at something here. My God, certainly if gold comes down here, can you imagine the psychotic buying that's going to take place if we make it down here? People lose their minds on that price easily, and that's going to be a feeding frenzy down here. Gold makes it back to 1,200. That would be maybe years away. It could be 2 years away. The bulls definitely think that they got a deal in this vacuum here, but there are a lot of sellers up here. This is the monthly chart for us to go up and just bob around and just have fun for it's like the monthly chart is just mind-blowing. And this is another thing that hasn't happened. This is a new historical thing. Forget Bitcoin. The gold's got 10 years ahead of Bitcoin, because there was a time when people lost their minds. About 12 years ago. Right up in here. Now this is insane on your brain kind of peak moment. And top tick Tommy on that one, and never saw that again till lo and behold, about 9 years later. There, I mean, just insane. Um, crusher. And look at the volatility that ensued after that. It just became a whole situation. Everything up in that hole. As far as closing prices go, this was supposed to be the big top become a bottom in gold that just totally failed. Sorry. Didn't like it. Now, this is the floor that you could be trapped under. But that is certainly the buy if you're a gold bug and you are able to get in at a 2-year low during that high drama moment. And this is FOMC stuff too here. All right, this is just last month. So we're just started this month and we're ripping up. Huge rip. And this is just where you're at. I mean, to me, I got time for that monthly. I mean, if you put the monthly with the weekly, you can't fuck this up, right? You'd be a total seller in any kind of blast into that for the next 8 hours, 8 days, 8 weeks, the rest of your life. Anything up here is going to, as long as you live, I would unload all my gold. I'm sure bulls are saying, yeah, when it gets up to here, like, yeah, I'm going to probably, who's buying above here is what I'm saying. Who the fuck has a buy stop at the breakout point? Well, yeah, when it breaks here, I think I'll be bullish on gold. Dude, if you're not buying this pullback, you're fucking retarded, right? And look at this drop. You didn't have to be even that guy, because look at all this ranging. Everything above here is just range city of nonsense. Total fucking nonsense. You're buying RSI's below 50 up here. Just because it's below 50, you're just going to scale into this. This is dumb shit trading. Everything below 50 is a buy. If you're a bull, you never sell. So if you're a gold bull, it's easy. It's stupid easy. Even if you bought this top become a bottom here, and you're still in the trade, well, fuck, you're up. You're fucking up on that trade. If you do this hindsight's 2020, well, you should, because this structure here is no different than this one here. You're going to buy this insane, it's a weekly chart, for God's sakes, insane vacuum, this lonely fucking wick, this turnaround. That's was your reversal. All right, so I marked this off on the weekly. You can also make the, so I'm going to stretch these out. So giant move up. Now sell it above 20. I'm sure all the RSI robots got in on that, and they made a bunch of money. You just sell above anything above 20 that you sold. There's no divergence needed. And people say I back tested that, blew up the account. Really? You're kidding. What the fuck? I mean, sounds like a perfect trading system. Yeah, of course. Because if you sell this, I did what you said, I sold up here. It was really crazy. It's so oversold. But you didn't get out? No, I held it until here and I go, oh my God, I'm losing a lot of money. Really? You're fucking retarded. But I guess if you would have, now here, the argument can be made, this is a triple divergence here, obviously. Once again, if you did not get out and take your fucking money off the table when it comes spiky wakey back, I didn't think about getting out. So let me see. You saw this triple divergence, this hidden insano on your braino. I mean, who could miss this? What beautiful on the weekly. You don't have time to watch that fucking shit for him. It only took like 2 months for that setup. Look at this. It's even got divergence here. Now, it didn't make much money, right? Because if you did not get out of that trade, and look how steep this one is. I mean, that's a psycho divergence. I'm gauging it against that. And that made a lot of money very quickly because it just kept on pressing into it and then it ripped back in. But really, the buyers here were the ones that really made the nice trade, so to speak. So you got this beautiful smash and grab. Doesn't happen very often. So that might happen 3 times a year. Smash and grab. Weekly smash and grab. I call that a, I guess they kind of kicked that. Still doing that? Are the kids still going and breaking in and stuff like going into Gucci and just taking everything? So that's what that trade's really about, is the raid. Like when you take out this wick, comes back. But if you don't get out of that trade, it's going down lower. It's going to keep coming after these deep vacuums of the places. But it's a rare trade, right? No fill here. Well, I guess if you have limits here, you had to wait. You had to wait like a year, at least. Finally got into this trade. Now, if you're building a position, every time it plunged down here, you said every time it closes under this floor, I'm going to buy. Well, you're just a break even now. This would be your swing trade. You're like, okay, I will load the wagon on that, and I will totally commit to buying everything. You have to be committed too. Everything below the wicks. This is the great. If the spread's too wide, you're just not going to get filled on that, and you're probably not even hardly up on it. So if the spread is too wide, then I guess your only hope is to zoom out on the weekly and go, damn, that's a great place to get in. Yeah, but maybe it's just a scalp. Fuck it, it's almost back to 1800. I'd be getting the fuck out of that if I bought it at like 1600. I just made $200 an ounce in gold. I mean, if you're in a lot of leverage there, it's a big account. That's going to be obvious bailing point, and then it comes back to. But the scalp is short, Now they're talking about crude oil going to the moon here. This is the monthly crude. Sorry, So this is the end of oil, the end of gold, and Bitcoin's a buy. It's obvious, at least for the offset of drama. Bitcoin's the new kid on the block. 24-hour market. It survived the plunge here. People gobbled the fucking thing up. RSI is at the 20 level. I'm buying that. Okay, so the monthly euro. Yes, it can't raise interest rates anymore here. That's all done. Euro's trapped under the floor. It's just a buyer's delight. Right. Come back to this low from 2000. 1999 back here, the big breakout. Come out of this triangle, just rip. We just tagged that. That is a 20-year low. Now, do you really think, in the wild world of sports, do you think it's fucking possible that anybody is selling who put a sell stop here? I hope you scalped something on that. Jesus Christ. Look at this thing. So the monthly's ripping back. Yeah, there'll be sellers up here. So I'm a buyer. I'm a buyer and a seller all the time. So my view is take both sides of the trade. Put yourself in a hedge, a spread. Put yourself in a winning hedge, I suppose, is the best way to think about it. And instead of trading the breakout, I'd like to put the sell limits above, buy limits below, and the breakout I'd say is maybe traded at the market on closing prices. And this is a very tight market, but another double top up here. This is really it's a big deal in the weekly there. It comes all the way back, so we filled this big vault. It comes all the way back up. It's just amazing. What a feeding frenzy here. That's 3 weekly wicks. On the 4-hour chart, if you isolate that place, on the 4-hour chart, all this behavior up here is just amazingly easy to trade from running scripts that last. Now this is a week. I'm sorry, this is a month. Wait, I gotta go to the 4-hour chart. So that little zone there. Okay, if I go to the daily chart, here, let me find just a little spot. Anything below this floor here. So we'll just examine all the trading that took place below the last floor on the daily. So anything, I guess I have no grid on here, so let me see. This has got to be at least 300 pips here. Okay, this is like 300 pips right there. So there's 400 pips. All right. Of just complete drama. This is 4-hour chart, so if you're looking at placing orders that last all week long, imagine this. Take Sunday night's, Friday's close, which is kind of up in here, but I'm going to say that this zone, and I'm going to commit to buying. And we don't get filled till the next week. I'm going to put all my buy limits in this shelf, in this pocket. So just trading pockets, really. Okay, there you go. I just told you the secret. And RSI is going to be on the 4-hour chart. So 4-hour chart, RSI makes sense. You can make money. Now this one is going to update. For 6 times a day, you have the opportunity to pull the trigger at the market. I would run market orders on this, though. This I would run market orders with several exits of up to 200 pips. So today I could have done better because very tight exits. I just put a grid in. But you can always do better but then of course if you do not take off the whole position, when you do not see you're not gonna make that target, then so this is FOMC here. This wick is right after FOMC comes out, so the market comes down here, and then we rip up. So we fill this little spot. And this is not many pips at all. This is like a 20 pip window, and then it rips up. When it gets above this high, whether you're there or not to see this trade happen, you have your sell limit sitting in that pocket. So this feeding zone is FOMC comes out, and you come back to Sunday's price and really kind of closing the structure here. It's just very obvious. If you got the patience, you should have the patience for the 4-hour setup. If you don't, then maybe you shouldn't. Because 4 hours is just so stupid easy. In daylight savings time, people get all freaked out, but I don't think it's that big a deal. I think the structure is still going to hold up. This double top becomes this inflection point. You've dipped in. All the scalpers have played the game of selling into the white knuckle, channel up here, and it keeps dipping in that window, and you keep selling it, and then here's the perfect setup, I would say. I mean, this has got to be maybe a 5 or 6 period positive reversal where a top's becoming a bottom. At the same time, you're getting the and you are the scalpers from the sell side have already fed on this wick, right? So they made their money as it pulls back into the other guy's territory, which is this. And you could have held this trade for 12 hours and made X into the other guy's sell. You can see the other guy's trade. Same thing if you know that there's people, and you have to be one of these people at some point in your life. Put your sell limits above this wick tip here, and just commit to selling this whole fucking thing all the way to here. I'd sell it actually, but you don't get filled till later on in that pack of orders. So you just have grids in there, and you see it come back, and you go, oh, I think the ride's over on that side of the tracks. So if you think about jumping the tracks, so to speak, of course, I guess for the people that are switching their gender, this should be very easy to think about. You go from boy to girl here. And this is the reason why trend trading is so difficult, because who wants to commit? Well, I guess this is where you have to be bisexual in trade. Well, you have to be unisex, right? You're not supposed to have like a bias. But hey, listen. If you go with just pure, so I guess the objective view is price first, right? This is a bottom become a top. And there is no setup on RSI. There's no confluence here. You still take I say structure rules. It's cute when the RSI is giving you that same thing. But of course, it gives you an excuse to trade it. Like I would buy here, RSI in the 4 hour at the market. But you know what? Tomorrow's Friday. The market's about to close. The best trade I think is going to be buy this for the rest of the week. Painfully obvious trade. If RSI I get divergence in RSI. I don't know how possible that's going to be, because you only get about 4 bars left to form. So you kind of miss the party, so to speak. I hate to put it that way, but you fucked up. You missed the window. So if you're going to sell above this, and you take that trade, where's your first target going to be? Logically, it needs to be, I think we learned this is just plain old simple stuff. Where's the buyer supposed to come in? Well, at this top, right? Top becomes the bottom for them. They load the wagon, they draw their trend line. They have the reversals, don't forget. They've got their argument. Look, it's more oversold. The price is kind of still higher. So they're taking this signal. It fails on them. Here's a cute little, the robot should be able to get this trade. 2-period reversal. You want to load the wagon on them. You really want to load the wagon on a 2-period. No, it's a reversal, and then you get, I guess, it's a triple reversal. I mean, technically speaking, it's these triple against this continually going down, but becoming more of a bought lower price. And here's your long-legged reversal, almost exactly on the trend line. This is kind of a long-legged reversal, but that definitely in the long run, because of a compelling smash down. And if you take this and draw this to the lows, you get the and this would be your midpoint. If you're doing a pitchfork, this is going to be the midpoint. I think I got one of those. So here I can put a channel on it. So if you channel trade it with RSI, it's kind of like you're sailing a boat, and the wind changes, so you got to keep changing the wind. But these are setups, You're trading setups here. You have to load the wagon very hard here. If you're a confirmation breakout, even the breakout traders are really making money here if they put their sell stops in here, but then they got to get the fuck out, right? Because it comes ripping back the other way. Ouch. So I'm always looking at this lonely wick. The wicks really do matter. And if you can handle the punishment, and I would martingale in, so I'd say, okay, I'll start selling above there, but when it gets above this, I'm a big seller, and I could probably cash out of my whole position If I thought I overloaded the wagon, because we know there's buyers galore under this wick, so it's this continuous churning, grinding. It's just gross. It just keeps going and going and going. But if you can wait all week for them to come back and pick you up, it's Sunday's low. Look at it. Hits again. Now, that's not only, I suppose, a smart money trade. In other words, the value area, the revisiting of price, If I can get it in, here's the Sunday floor, it becomes a top, but trapped underneath that. I'm just thinking about, I'm selling that above here. So the euro goes up into the close. I'm a seller. I have to be a seller. Just out of reach, up in here, like up in the mind-blowing, the loneliest wick of all I can see on this chart on the 4-hour structures. This is really pretty easy trading if you can wait for the market to go up there. But I'm not going to put orders way up here tonight because it's unrealistic. What is possible? Where should I put my tickets? I say I'm going to put a bank here to the end of the week, all day long, next 20 hours. I'll keep refreshing. I think it's better to front run the market with your grid starting very aggressive above this price and have this to be the ultimate crush zone. I'm going to go with this strategy all day long. This is too easy, right? We just sell above here. Don't even worry about it. It's so fucking stupid, this trade. And I just keep front running it like this, and as the time goes on, maybe we're up here. We get filled on a rack up in this. This is going to be a nosebleed suction. Fucking nosebleed up there. Injure your fucking cranium on this price. It's so high. It's so ridiculous. What's the next ridiculous price you can think of? So you just kind of find ridiculous prices, put your tickets in. Forget the lottery, man. You're just never going to make money. You have a better chance of becoming a millionaire in a year of painstakingly refreshing all your tickets than ever any lottery. If you commit to the 8-hour time frame of trading or the 12-hour time frame of trading, and the structure is always going to matter. These are amazing trades. You have to wait all week. I want to tell you, it's not easy to wait for them to take out this wick, raid this area, and you can see it coming. I'm probably going to get in early here and really stress out a little bit more. So I'm really into stress. Or I guess I wouldn't be trading some kind of stress. We want to have some kind of fun. And that's always stressful, right? Like sex can be stressful. People die fucking, don't forget. It's probably my number one killer. What happened to him? Fucked too hard. The market fucked him up. Look at this thing just launching into this wackadoodle thing. This beautiful quadruple keeps banging. If you just keep selling RSI above 10. Another thing is if you blend all these techniques. No, it doesn't always work to sell up here at the tippy top tick Tommy of RSI. But it certainly pays off to, and this is market profile stuff. You don't have to get market profile to see that this is a huge exchange point where people just have no problem just range trading the shit out of that. If you carry this forward into the future, into infinity, it seems to me that it's some kind of crazy ass exchange window. People love that fucking price. And take it forward, you can even, this is what Market Profile attempts to do, is compress all the popular prices looking forward. It's going to look like this. But today had to be the most beautiful trade of the week. When the jobs report came out, I mean, this is FOMC here, and then we take out the low. We touch the low of Sunday. There's this beautiful top from Friday's close. We just raid this area. And this is 200 pips of rip. And it's maybe rip and drift. A couple scalps left. You missed it. You missed the party. I would be buying down here, but I'd be too cheap. I would miss the party in some way. This is a beautiful news rip. Just like this was a beautiful FOMC news rip. Fucking beautiful. And we actually came back to that price. It's like a fucking conspiracy. That's just smart money. It's a pivot point there, son. It's a pivot. What you're looking at is a 4-hour pivot point. I call this. Times become about as a 4-hour chart, man. Son, I explained this to you just before I took your mom's bank account and traded this way. That's why you don't have any teeth, son. We weren't able to take you to the dentist when you had baby teeth. And look at this re-rating of Sunday's prices here. Oh, that seems like a pattern. Now this is this. I know ICT thinks he found the key to the secret to the secret is, and of course, if he was to scale in and out of both trades, you could do both trades too, right? Big seller up here, you're short right now, shit in your pants, right? You are short right now. If you're going to trade this smart money, you are short right now. You should be on something. And you're going to wait for this thing to come off the ceiling. Hopefully it's going to come unglued off the ceiling, but maybe not. So the smart money says, I have smarter money than that. Mine has expirations on the ticket. So I just put a rack in like this for the rest of the week. I will sell anything up in here, and I'm good with that trade. So you're kind of mining the market. I think if you're going to put limits in here, you're going to mine it, right? You're a miner. And every time it makes a new low, you got to say, oh, love that trade. And another classic trap under the floor, triple bottom. Another triple bottom under the floor, closing prices. Very subtle here. Divergence on the RSI naturally. Triple divergence and kind of just barely touching that 20 line as you come off the floor. But this is not painstaking. I mean, this is just something you got to do. You got to survey it, just before you measure twice, cut once. The measurement here and constantly getting this. Well, this could be a trap down here, and it can trap all the sellers. Very bearish. It's a downtrend. Oh yeah, we use a channel. Haven't you heard of channel trading? Well, I heard of it, but what you do here is you put this up here like this. This is Guy Calvin. It's so cute. Dude, it doesn't go on forever, okay? This channel is going to come to an end. It doesn't... Look, it called out this price. Yeah, you can say that too. So all that stuff you could say, and it is true because, let's see. Well, we do have divergence down here, so I have a lot of reasons to do these trades. Like, here's my failed divergence, I guess you could say. Look, it's diverging. Look at beautiful buy right here. Oh my God. It's trapped under the floor. As soon as we get above that floor, we'll be off to the fucking... Now, I do have that thought myself because I'm very bullish. Look, it's holding this, but wah, wah, wah. So it falls in the hole, and people are selling into that, and they're making money because they're like, you know what? I think we're going to tumble into this vacuum. No, they would have to have the thought that if it gets below here, I'll cash out on something. And a lot of people did, right? As you can see, new buyers came in, and this is a failed rally into this floor. Hopefully I got enough space to do this analysis here, but maybe not here. Let's zoom in. This is not going to work. If you can see it, it's pretty subtle. But this little baby bottom here becomes a top. I hope I don't get flagged by the pedophile bots. This baby bottom here. But you have a bottom become a top at the same time in RSI, kind of a bottom becoming a top. And that could also be construed in the gay world. So, yeah, he was a top. He became a bottom. It's like, oof. He's going to have more gender reassignment. It's kind of a rough road for him. He's all scarred up from the last time. Oof. Worse than a Bitcoin trade that he got into. Yeah, he bought in at 40 grand. I haven't heard Tim Pool mention anything about Bitcoin touching 17. I hope he's loading the wagon. I'd be. I do think Bitcoin is going to be, it's kind of funny because psychologically, this is going to be the, Elon Musk could save Bitcoin. They'll blame it on him. I think that's what's going to happen is like Elon's going to go, you know what? Bitcoin fusing with Twitter coin. And all you have to do is have somebody step in with a lot of money that seems psychologically more money than even Jesus could print. Biden's Jesus, don't forget this. Just obviously, right? He's like being there. He's Peter Sellers and being there, obviously, at this point. What he says is just so profound. It's so fucking profound. I mean, dude, there's no inflation. No, stuff happens, shit happens. Put a shit happens sticker on it. Biden happens sticker on it. Yeah, what do you attribute that to? We're curious on your opinion of the future of mankind. Oh my God, Charlton Heston on the page. Damn them all to hell. So, yeah, what was that? So on the chart here, you can make these kind of projections. You can make these harebrained things. And you can say, look at this top become a bottom right here. On this trend line right here, it breaks the trend line. And this is when you might as well just get out the Gann fan and just go full retard, full Gann. But what I also like about this is the thickness of the trend line. So you give the market some room, Here's a beautiful breakout, pullback, and this is just as valid as any Gartley fucking pattern or any cloud system. All you're doing is finding an excuse to trade. Look at this beautiful top, become a bottom, hit an angle. I used to do videos like this all the time. They're probably still up there from way back. Where you say, you can make these inflection points and give yourself permission to trade is all you're really doing. Honey, you got to see this setup. Like, girls might like these Gartley patterns more than, yeah. You might be under homo suspicion if you're too into a Gartley pattern. Isn't that girls trading? I hate that one girl I was making fun of that one time that she hates when her fibs lie to her. My fib's lying again. My fib told a fib. He said this was a great place to get in. I like this setup here. Look at this. Just you're hanging it on the momentum. This should line up anywhere, right? This is kind of like the you should be able to find a trade in there. Same thing in the other direction. Let's not be all one-sided here. It's funny because MetaTrader magically finds the points. I make a real quick pitchfork there. I like this middle tine. In fact, I'm thinking of coming out with flatware that's designed for traders, where in the middle you've got this kind of prickly thing. And then on the outside, you get like this band, so more of an envelope. You have this mid-channel, and you can see all the inflections here. It's obvious, I hope. And you traded the break out of this trend line that you drew in RSI, right? And this is the kickoff. This is the pullback. One more price pulse up. We finish out the week. Come back next week, trade it again. So the dollar CAD, I think I said this is a sell up in here for the month. And hopefully you're getting the fuck out of this trade. I'm going to buy this as it plunges. I'll catch a falling knife here on the dollar CAD. Very obvious trades here. These are dumb trades. If you like the range trade the CAD. I highly recommend it. Although, be careful, because the monthly chart, like this high, this is really quite a fantastical chart. to be honest. This is 2008 real estate crash. This is the end of the fucking one. This is COVID meets Canada. Talked about this in many videos. This is insane. I was telling people, you've got to get into the CAD. It's below the dollar. So par came to the euro. This is almost, well, here's par down here. It's crazy town. Then it goes screaming and it takes this out. Mind blowing. Big selling opportunity continuously. The last known psycho buy was the 5-year low into this madness abyss. The vac of all vacs. Deep discount. Ripping back above this floor, I'm going to consider this to be the ultimate. The people with deep pockets started buying as soon as it took out this low. I believe they were buying like a horror. And this would be your rip back to the floor and get out. You're done. You don't even need that, right? You don't even need the money. Then you get a beautiful reversal on the monthlies that I would totally load the wagon on if I was right here, this 5-month reversal. But really, it's about, I still think it comes back to this is going to be the highest probability, fastest money, and this sell here above this zone was the sell. You missed it. Sell limits galore up in this, all the way to here actually. And I would totally have loaded the wagon on that. I don't trade dollar CAD, but that was painfully fucking obvious. If you missed it, here's a weekly view. No brainer. I'm totally out of that trade, but I'm buying now. In my mind's eye, of course. It's cheaper. But all my sells are going to be, sleeper sells are all going to be in here. If you're conservative, you're going to lay your orders so this only lasts a week. All these tickets last all week, but definitely buy. If you ever make it back to this price, totally nuts on it, right? The weekly trades are easier. You can see the shelf in here. Load the wagon. Just to the floor, it's worth it. Daily's going to look like a train wreck, right? Now, if you're thinking daily, people go, oh, moving average. This is a no-nonsense time frame here, I think. Daily or something like that. Now, here it's a buzzsaw. Very difficult for people to accept this chart without, I'd say I go to the 4-hour chart. That's why I just give up. I go to the 4-hour chart. Just look for a trade like this because I just don't got time for that. Like the weekly is so smooth and so beautiful. You can see those raids, but I'm not waiting that long. There's no way. Why wait that long? Here, your trades last like what? You retest Sunday's prices. And here's your lonely wick of the week. I should do lonely wick of the week trades. At least, but I just too inconsistent, too chaotic a person really to pay attention to a schedule. But bless your heart. I mean, the world's usually chaotic, but I'm not gonna do that. Here's the raid on the top tick Tommies. It's a big range trade. For a whole week is a range trade if you can handle that kind of slam dance. And these trades are still lasting for like 2 days. I can't flip to the daily chart. We're going to lose that. Here, it's got to zoom in now. So that's all this stuff here. And yes, there's divergence on the daily chart, and of course on the 4-hour chart though, it's a complete buy and sell trades going on constantly from both directions. I mean, you can't really even be worried about that. But for the people that are saying, well, I'm only going to take the daily signals. Okay, well, you're going to have to wait for this setup to happen, which it does happen. Like, you can't say this is not a great trade. Beautiful divergence, 5-period divergence. The robot's going to take that. You know, you should take it and cash out anything below here because you know there's buyers. You should know there's buyers here in the daily. And it's going to be more, you're going to wait like 3 day sell off into this, you know. Different lifestyle on the daily. Yeah, but it's no brainer, right? You're always going to be a seller up here. And look at this trade could have lasted. I don't even know this. This is there's probably news coming out here. Who cares? You know, it's a feeding zone. You're in here. You're out. It comes back to it comes back into this zone here. You're out. But this is also somebody else's buy and sell window if they can handle running tight stops. Tight stop guy's going to put his tickets in here, and it's going to ride this thing. Bing bong, bing bong bong. The guy that's like RSI or the structure people are going to wait for this premium setup, which I'm not going to wait for. I got time for that. But this is a beautiful in closing prices only. Bottom becomes a top. Very rare. Happened once that month. And this is the argument for trend trade. You know, you're a channel trader keeps touching the trend line. Obviously, the first place you draw the trend line is here. You have a trend. Trend lines on closing prices. The trend line is adapting to price constantly. If you didn't have to trade like that because you could just as well put your sell limits in this 3-day vacuum. This is the 3-day shelf up in here. There's definitely a lot of smart money up there. I guess patient money. Let's call it patient money. Well, that's like Zen money. You sit there with your legs crossed, waiting to get kicked in the nuts, I suppose, is what it could seem like it, right? And of course, if you have your sell stops in here because you're like, oh, I'm a trend trader, I sell at the trend line. I got in on this sell right here, this little rally. I saw this set up in RSI. I said, well, this is the last. This is top become a bottom. I'm going to force this trade. I'm going to sell right here. Run and close. I'm going to sell right there. And then they get wicked out because I put my sell stop above there like a fucking idiot. But then I waited for this trade and I got in and put my sell stop way up here. So I took a bunch of risks now. I'm taking more risk because I put my wider stop in next time. That didn't work out too good. Geez, boy, that was. But there's somebody on the other side of this trade just buying this bullshit because it's new lows. Dump it, refresh, rinse and repeat. Then buying here, once again on the dollar CAD. You're long into this floor. You're probably going to get out tonight. I know I would. You know, I get the fuck out of that thing by Friday. If we come back to the floor here on dollar CAD, I'm out. I talked about these trades on the. Of course, I was trading with money and scripts, and people would say, "Why'd you blow up the account?" I'm like, dude, well, think about it. If I overload the fucking wagon on any of these fucking trades, so I go, well, I'm really bullish on this dollar CAD. Look at this pullback. So I bought the day it crushed down here, but then it came fucking crushing down here. I'm like, holy fuck. Look, they came all the way back to here. Shit, god damn it. Like I said, this is not a fair chart, the daily, because it has Sunday night on here. So we always have a doji. We just have the monthly marked off on the dotted line. It's a compelling argument, though, for the RSI. Here's a beautiful reversal. We got more oversold, higher price. The daily chart, I would zoom in like this. I think the daily chart needs to be at this zoom level. I'm just saying. And this does break the trend line. See, we do not get a perfect touch there. But we get a reversal. Albeit long-legged, but here you go. This is another continuation. RSI does give you this. Triples. Gives you a lot of triples. So we can hang our hat here now and make the argument for yes, the robot would pick that up. If your robot's set to a 13 or 10 period, you know, way out there reversal. But yeah, as soon as you punch into this window and all the scalpers do their selling and have their fun, you know, quite come back. This double top does not become a bottom, by the way. It's another failure. But we do have the raid on these wicks and comes back and we are off to the races and we are going to punch north so fucking hard. Why? Because dollar CAD has not been at that price in like 20 months. If you go to the weekly, we have not been at that price in like a coon's age. Come on, look at this thing. Right? Oh God, leave me alone, Apple software, please. Please leave me alone, Apple. God, fucking Apple, go away. I put Apple on here because I had to render something, and now I'm stuck with Apple. I'm going to keep saying, hey, you want to update? Fuck off, Apple. Listen, Apple, here, I'll update you. I just deleted you. Look at this beautiful divergence on the weekly there on the dollar CAD. Wow. But I'd be getting out of that. I'd be taking profits on that pullback. That was insaneville. And last but not least, we're going to go to the NASDAQ monthly. RSI 3 period. Out of fucking control. Another kind of like super buy, in my opinion. Hello. Like, I'm so sure. Like, NASDAQ's coming back. At least for the buy for the moment. But it could be doomed. It could be doomed forever. I think we're going to go total analog. So this is a really bizarre thing. I think I was saying to somebody today, I'm making the prediction. This is futuristic kind of stuff. People are going to go full analog. NASDAQ's fucked. Major structure issues here, I would say. And hard to get above this. Pretty tough sledding. But I was a big buyer down here. I said last video, I don't know, it's about 3 weeks ago or so. Maybe a month by now, but big buyer down here, man. Big ass buyer for the scalp, always for the scalp. I can't stress that enough. That when you make this new low of the year into this we could definitely come back to the starting gate there. But for the moment, I love the complete thrusting up motion, and we're about to crush into this window. And then I'm gonna get out. This bottom could become a top, but I think we'll overshoot into this a little bit. I'm just gonna cash out on the wick. So there's so many places to get out. That's why I typically trade like a logarithmic grid. So I'm a big seller up here. Wow, total cash out of NASDAQ. Look at some of these beautiful daily trends. Look how smooth this. Look at that. You could draw a trend line right on the fucking close. That is compelling. This is mind-blowing. This divergence here is just mind-scorching, really. Head exploding. And it's under here. It's all happening in this zone. Everything below there. So as you come trending down into here, below this, oh my God, below this even, holy shit, that is nutsoid. This is super. How many people are buying here? Oh my God, like everybody, right? That's the lows from last fucking year. Come on, man. Even Biden's buying here. Who is it? And look at you nick the wick here. People are losing their heads, are exploding here. And the reversal's failing. This too insanely steep reversal is just about to it just got busted in price. But that's what you hang your hat on, is that reversal's supposed to be. So what you need to do is take this, copy this line, and find the lowest close. You're missing your target. And now the new thing is that well, just from a price structure situation, yeah, you could hit this thing by tomorrow, I think you're going to punch into this window at least. And if you have a, so supposedly the stock market, the Dow Jones, 30 stocks, has punched up the highest rally in, it's like 1,000 points in a while. That's usually the place that people are selling for this one pattern only, though. And that would be like the ABC correction where the C wave, like that's it. The correction's over. Now the big kind of drift starts to happen, and oil crashes, and stocks. I don't want to say crash, but this is the true beginning. Here's the monthly crude rollover, about to go down the drain. It's over for crude. They're going to start drilling again. They're going to block. This is the fundamental view. This climax here is as bad as the dream of the electric car. There, I said it. I know you probably can't talk bad about electric cars on YouTube. That's coming to a YouTube near you, a channel near you. You can't say anything bad about anything green. That's kind of green. So if it's green, I guess it's like this is a sustainable rant that I'm on, actually. It's anger resourced, though. This could be a problem. I think there's a tax. There's an anger tax they're coming out with soon. There's a trolling tax they thought about, but they're not sure. 2008 market crash on oil. We always have to keep reviewing this thing and drill it into our minds that these kind of prices are unsustainable. We see a lot of wickage. Wickage is definitely matters. And look at this. This is just inconceivable. I'd say the feeding frenzy is this. In total price look back, this is market profile. All prices matter. Whereas closing prices to RSI, only closing prices matter. Only a momentum per day, per hour, per week. This is the holy grail is simplicity. So you can't get more simple than closing prices. And the wick is true that is the smart money, but that's also the patient money. The once in a lifetime money, to be honest with you, this has to be the lottery. Here comes COVID, oil. People have locked down the whole fucking world all at once. I'm sure there were buyers buying this vault. And if you martingaled in where you really loaded the wagon below this, you're a very smart, patient person. Probably go together. I don't know. I guess being a fruit fly would be the ultimate kind of bad situation. You live for 18 hours. You better start fucking. That's tight. That's tight lifestyle. How long are you gonna be alive? Well, I'm a scalper. Why is that? Life cycle of a fruit fly. Life expectancy of a fruit fly. Oh, that's tight. Yeah, you better start fucking trading. You better run along here. Start trading. Okay, it's like 5 minutes to 10 o'clock at night, Eastern Standard Time. So get ready for it. Brace yourself, gird your loins. Let's go to the 4 hour. Well, let's go to the daily chart here on crude. See, it's already a sell. Look at that. It's already smacking off the resistance level. Let's say this is a bottom becoming a top. I hope you sold. Very bearish on crude here in the long run. Look at these wicks here. Now, this is the daily. I'm sorry, this is the weekly. Yeah, see, this is Coronaville. And where are we in? We have to hold this trend line, and it's not going to happen. So I say, based on my RSI analysis, we are doomed. Crude, I'm gonna call a top become a bottom in the weekly structure. Yep, that's it. So new resistance. But of course, for the guy that's on the daily chart, he's gonna trade the shit out of this thing. I'm gonna sell right there, and I'm gonna buy down here. I have it both ways on this one, but I'd spread my tickets appropriately. This is always going to be deep discount buy window. The bulls have loaded the wagon here, but there's bears like bears galore that live right above this window. This is looking back 2 months of supply or fresh prices. Fresh prices matter too, big time. And really, trading is a pretty boring thing because you're waiting. You may not now, if you don't mind trading multiple instruments, these trades should be as obvious as any in the world. Is this a double bottom? Could you put tickets on the first bottom? Yes. But amazingly, like if you get married to the same person 5 times, it just keeps coming back to that price. Look at Wix into it. You could keep taking that same dumbass trade over and over again, and the whole fucking month is nothing but a range of shit. You could have sold up here. You could have bought down here. You could have had one zigzag. You could have traded this whole zigzag of bullshit. I would not recommend trend trading this fucking thing on the daily. Unless you think you're going to wait for this one. You're going to pull the trigger on one big trade because you're like, yeah, well, so let me show you how my system works. I use a 21 simple moving average because you know this is Fibonacci number. And I like 21 because it used to be 21. So I'm nostalgic. At the same time, I'm trading. There's a combo plate of emotional feel good about it. And I got RSI reversals showing up on the daily all day long. But I have the patience of a fruit fly, so I'm going to put in my trades very quickly. But I noticed that my trend trades are just... I'm going to imagine my moving average here, so I'm just going to take the risk and just draw my... What I think... seen enough moving averages that I really don't want to see anymore, so I'm just going to imagine this is 21 period moving average, you know, and it's like, oh, I would take sells when I'm above my moving average. Okay, RSI has to be above 50. Okay, so you take this sell, you take this sell, you take this. So you got 3 sells going. Great. I mean, actually, there's divergence here and everything, and I'm going to take that trade. Okay, and then here's another reversal, so I take this one here. Sell, sell, sell. But, you know, if I don't get out of the trade, one day it's going to cut into this and I'm going to be like, oh, Jesus. Now what? You know, if I'm a one of these guys that's a big oil guy and I own a refinery and I'm going to try to load the wagon because I've got a bunch of extra real estate I just bought. Because I bought when interest rates were low. This is when you should have been buying real estate. But most people chase markets, so people are chasing real estate. But the Fed's not going to raise interest rates now because, right, they overshot their own way, or they cranked it too hard and they realized that, you know, we got to take a step back. That's why the market rallied, because the Fed realized they're not going. But that vacuum was forming for a long time. We all knew this, right? Ridiculous prices don't last. The chart tells all. You just don't last. The 4-hour chart here in crude. I think crude closes, so not fair to really look at on the 4-hour chart, but we can still do it. All this meandering up and down is worth so much money. Who cares where the long term price of crude is? Who cares? The guy that can handle range trading that, because the trend trader is always going to be Oh, well, it's just not a perfect setup. Here's moving average on the 4-hour chart. I like a nice smooth moving average, like a cloud trader. Okay, well, you're going to have to buy when you're below the moving average and RSI is oversold. So you take this trade, you take this trade, you take this trade, you take this trade. Well, fuck, just buy when it's below, because this trade doesn't, or people say, well, I'm going to buy if RSI is below this and the price is above my moving average. Okay, so, but you're going to buy it too high. You really have to buy when RSI is smashed down to the fucking ground. So if you only pull the trigger here, okay, you got burned, it went down lower. But then you pull the trigger here, good trigger pull. You know, the 4-hour chart, it's probably worth it because you sell here. When RSI is above 20, I sell, and now you're going to force your moving average to be like this. This is your trend line too. I only sell when RSI is above here, and this is a cute little reversal, kind of. See, it's reaching up there. It doesn't have to be that, because you're not going to get it. You won't always get that pattern. So if you reject this sell and this sell, then you missed out on getting this chunk of money. If your filter comes in, there was a guy that was on the Skype call or the thing we were on talking on the internet there during a live feed, and the guy said his RSI said to some outlandish number. I couldn't believe it, but he said it was working for him. RSI of like 40, I want to say. And he only took sells above 50. And so, actually, he was taking sells on the breakout, right? So as soon as RSI broke out above, he was buying. But he had his thing to set to really long, subtle, right? So he would sell. It's not fair to RSI. No, he'd sell as soon as it. Actually, as soon as it went down. So as soon as it went down here, RSI went here. He's selling. So he takes this trade. Think about it. He sells here. He's selling oversold, and he's making money. Yes, because he's getting in here for that. Whereas I'm getting in here for that. I'm selling here. He's selling here. If he sells here and he gets out here, right? That's the argument. Calvin discovered that one day, and he was hysterical, this Calvin guy. He's like, no, you sell here. Well, RSI, like you go against it, you sell here. Yes, that is true, that you will make money in the end. If you can handle this, where I'm selling, so I'm selling here, sell 3 sells for me, 1 sell for you, and you're going to sell here, sell, 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 because you're going to, it doesn't matter. Well, that matter, just sell all week long. Yes. I mean, if you think that this is never going to be overcome on the oil 4-hour chart of structure, if you can't get above here, or are you saying, I love this window here because there's a slot, and I'm also willing to sell all the way into that vacuum, and you could have also been the guy that bought this vacuum for that trade into the floor. What a great launching point this is. Pulls back, RSI. I'm going to pull the trigger here just because I like this trade. I'm buying this triple reversal. Beautiful setup. Keeps banging on the, keeps coming near the 50. Oh, I back tested that, and yeah, it's not going to work. If you don't fucking take something off the table on this blast, you have to have scalps built into that. You can't just go looking for these fucking perfect setups. Load the wagon on this. Never take profits up into this guy's sell window, and you get stopped out down here, and you're like, let me see. Yeah, my robot, his money management wasn't that good, and No, really? Duh. Yeah, come to think of it, yeah. I guess you gotta pay attention a little bit. Yeah, just a touch, you know. I mean, just to fucking try to show up every now and then. So the top become a bottom. Top become a bottom failure. Oh, here's a nice stair step. Top become a bottom with the setup. Yeah, there you go. Bingo. And my moving average finally crossed over, and I took this trade, and I didn't get out. Wah, wah, wah. Oh, looks like you showed up at Joe's house, and yeah, he was raping your wife again. Oh, I hate when that happens. Yep, took her back to his place and cut her up, put her in barrels, and took her upstream here, and got him an Obama phone, and I became an illegal alien. Yeah, this is the you should never came here. We don't like your kind up in here in the cell zone here. We just rape your women here and then send them back to town for some more punishment. There goes my video. Just got banned. How to ban your video in 20 seconds of vulgarness. The market's vulgar. You don't care about your wife or your family. We come over. We show up in the middle of the night. Oh, that was you? I didn't see that coming. Oopsie daisy. Sad thing about what we had to do to your family, we came in underneath here, we put a bunch of buy limits in here and just completely, we own your farm now. Yeah, we regulated it out of existence. It came out with an executive order and said, you're not allowed to mine your chart down here anymore. We don't allow smart money trades. We found out, you know, your broker reported you for putting buy limits down here. Did you know that? They cut you off for a reason. Well, what happened was there's a guy named Dodd and a guy named Frank, and they said, there'll be no fucking hedging and wedging. There'll be no wedgies around here. No grabbing by the short hairs in this vacuum. There'll be none of that. No, kids. Nothing but trend trading allowed here. In fact, it's called investing. I just keep, you mean I can just buy gold coins? Keep buying your gold coins, son. Because when you're starving to death, I'll be eating my cans of tuna here. That's right, I didn't want to tell anybody, but I'm loading up on yellowfin tuna here. And I'm building a bunker. It's all about structure. It's all about the structure of the market, the structure of your house. How low can you go? Look at this reversal here. It's a quadruple reversal. Beautiful buy. Didn't get out. Wah, wah, wah. All the failures of my RSI Dreambot have failed. I can't believe it. Bad money management, I think, is what it's called. Did not pay attention. Pay attention, son. Gonna be a big rooster one day. You'll be a big trader. It's really hard psychologically to accept the fact that the market is 80% fucking bullshit. No trend. No fucking chance. So I would buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. I'm not waiting for the market to come down here to buy. Fuck that. I'll take all this noise and just trade it manually, I'd say, is the best. How to catch a falling knife. It's a manual act to follow the market. You really got to follow the market. You're kind of a slave to the market in a sense there. Let's see what the daily gold says. Oh, my daily gold chart. What a train wreck. Zoom in. So zoom in to clean it up. Everybody's all excited. Check out that 4 hour. Are we getting filled here on my 4 hour Bitcoin? Oof, I want to buy here. Man, I want to buy so much Bitcoin now. I'm going to load the wagon down here all the way to 13 grand into Christmas. Hey kids, Grandpa's buying Bitcoin for Christmas. Now line up at your phone. I'm going to send you your app. Trick or treat. Oh my God. Give me some of that Bitcoin. all the way to Memphis on the Bitcoin. Yep. Mount the Hoopo trade here. So you're going to come in heavy right there, man. Oh my God, all the way to Memphis. That is just staggering. I can't wait. I'm going to put some, I want to open up a Bitcoin account there. I'm heavy. I'll start buying here in this box. When we get to this box, I load the wagon. Every $1,000 all the way to China. China, Memphis. This new city they created in China. So they can write it off on their taxes. This would be the sweetest spot I can think of to just go full digital retard. And forget NASDAQ. People own Bitcoins and they will trade them for analog goods. That is my prediction for the next 5 years. The price of tangible objects is going to go up, and real estate. This. I know a lot of people kind of hate this Charles Schwab guy, but he's just telling you what's going to happen. People will, if you look at the people that are living in these pods, or these, I don't know, it's in Asia somewhere. People shacked up in these little slots like they're on a train, right? They're like a traveler on a train. They have a cabin. Why not? You're going to die anyways. It's easier to commit suicide in these things. I see these things coming up. I like to watch these interrogations, these brutal crimes. People chop people up. I know YouTube has this new fucking thing that they're espousing. So this is on the bleeding edge. Forget climate change. It's suicide prevention. Okay, I'm going to kill myself now for sure. I told OJ he should commit suicide on Twitter and they banned me. So I quit Twitter. Just describing my incident's probably I'm gonna have a problem. But look at this Bitcoin. This is the most beautiful chart. I've never seen a more beautiful setup in my life. RSI is in the buy zone for me. And Bitcoin is getting punished into Christmas. Punished. And I'm saying we should buy it. Crowdfund this puppy. I saw Wikipedia is begging for money too. Everybody's begging for money. And these people are like, oh, I went to Famous Dave's, this fucking place. And I refused to buy their $75 meals. So I bought like chili. Because I just can't justify. I'm just too cheap. I cannot justify spending unless the waitresses and the host. Well, the hostess is always hot, but when the waitress looks good, I like to overtip her. I guess you shouldn't do that. My buddy says if you believe in cat, you shouldn't do that. But I can't resist. Even if she spills a drink in my lap, actually I tip her extra, but for that stunt. But hey, listen. You gotta get out, have fun. Bitcoin, man, kind of exciting. I think, kids. I'll give you a cell phone and a Bitcoin account for Christmas. $1,000 is in there. Of course, you can keep it or have what's behind door number 3. You put your ballot in there. What is the? Is it because? Well, I guess the final wave of bankruptcies is going to be the Bitcoin brokers. Bitcoin. Oh, Bitcoin. I'm a buyer all the way down, dude. All the way down to zero. I'm a buyer. The Bitcoin reserves have been empty, just like the crude oil emergency reserves, the big tanks. They have also been diminished and depleted. The Bitcoin banks have been the blockchain took a little bit of a stretch. We stretched the blockchain. This is string theory. That's spring theory, rubber band theory. When the rubber band comes to jam, and it's the end of the 2-year super range trade. If you consider top tick Tommy down to bottom tick Bobby, I think we've reached capitulation. I'm going to call it. Yep. Capitulation at $18,000 on Bitcoin, $17,000. 1750 is a sweet entry point because it's 25. It's a bit. It's 2 bits below. A bit being 12.5, so it's 2 bits below. And it's Bitcoin, so think about it. Think about it, people. 2 bits is 25 cents. 1 bit is a buck 25. Is 12.50 in commodities. I think 2 bits is a British thing, right? Can't remember. But we're down here in the bilge, in the bottom of the ship of price. Back to the beginning again. This is a Brian Auger kind of song there. Back to the beginning again, and we are here. And the trend line persists against Bitcoin. Don't forget, let's not leave out the final part of the analysis. The lack of volatility, people. This is the most key ingredient to the Delta breakout, where we combine all forces, all confirmation for this trade. The Bitcoin. Now, does this trend line hold, or does it go bye-bye? Bye-bye. Bye now. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye. Bye. Or does this trend line persist and become the channel that we're stuck in? You know, I used to buy the bottom of that channel and then we'd blow it out. I used to load the wagon on that trade too. So anytime you load the wagon, this is what destroys. When you think you have a system that's can't lose, you back tested it, you know it like the back of your member, and you are so into it. This is the danger zone. One day you discover the pitchfork and you decide, well, I'm going to build an envelope out here. This will be my target to sell. That is a better idea because now you're waiting for it to tag this outlier, or you're waiting for it to tag this middle thing. But I'm always waiting for that. And this is the projection of the trend. And you could say, well, I knew that was coming because I drew a channel here, and look how this inflection point of this, and here is the perfect. Look at this inflection. How can you deny that? It doesn't matter. There's buyers here for this reason and this reason only. And it still presupposes you waited for this triple divergence, and it presupposes you got the fuck out here because you are still not even back there in Bitcoin. You're so fucked. If you loaded Bitcoin wagon here and didn't scalp out and make $3,000, maybe you're a long hauler. Maybe you bet your whole life of everything below here on Bitcoin and you're just loading the wagon, and this is just more reason to buy. And I would be a buyer all the way down. I think it's a painfully obvious trade from any kind of like rational person's view of, you know, if you loaded the wagon here, yeah, you're underwater, but you're still okay. You're going to build a position down here. You're that guy. So who are you? This is a question that Who came out with. They made a song of it. Who are you? Who? And you know, this is really, you got to ask yourself, could you have the balls to buy this window, cash out here and call it quits, and maybe reload here? But look at the volatility. You can't wrap your brain around here, but now the volatility is drying up. We are in the sweet spot of sweet spots from all directions, even the trend traders. Now, I don't think it's worth selling here for me. Like anything from here on down, it seems like a lost cause. It's a totally lost cause to sell here and say, oh yeah, I'm waiting for it to touch this, and then I'll sell here, and I'll get a top become a bottom, and I'll sell here. It's a lost cause in my opinion, because all this drift action is saying to me, yelling to me. It's not just saying it, it's yelling. I'm gonna go for the extra. I'll make the argument for if I claim that the movements that I want to trade, you can trade either way. But if I say I only want to be a buyer here, because I perceive that this floor here is such a big deal now into the end of time for Bitcoin, I feel very cozy about certainly loading the wagon on this new low that just happened. And then into the end of the year, if you can imagine this pattern, so you start off this year, you climax almost the end of the year, don't quite make it, but you just end up back at the starting gate. So there's the punishment of the range. But now that you're loading the wagon here, in the long run, you're like, okay, well, if I hold this to here just for the scalp and then here to the cash out, great trade, I think. Heavy load here, prepared to buy into the end of the year. All this is doing, all these Gartleys and all these channels, all they're doing is allowing you the permission to think about buying down here. Imagination is all it is. I can make the same argument, the bullish argument, in a longer channel on the top side. So you can do this. I'm sure the bulls are saying, well, look at, I mean, it's painfully obvious that this is your possible bullish point that could kick in, and we're going to start our first low here, and we're going to walk up this line. This will be our new trend line. We can already see it coming. And I'm just going to plan for that all day long. This will be my plan. I'm going to be like, okay. Right there, man. That's going to be it. This will be the head of, these will be the shoulders. This is the head. And we're going to start the walk up here. This is the end of the week. Christmas is coming. I think Elon Musk is going to come in and he's going to buy everybody in the planet Bitcoin for Christmas, and he's going to buy me some. I'm going to buy some myself. And let's get our Gartley on. Let's get this Gartley going before I close out the video. Got to have a Gartley, man. You just fucking don't even have a chance. Let's do a little good old some isosceles triangle work here. Let's get some kind of Gartley shit. Projected into the future, I have a bullish Gartley here. I have a bat dick. I like this trade. I say the target's up here at this end of the bat wing. There's some 618 shit going on up here. There has to be. Okay. There's the bullish argument. Here's bearish. I say we'll be up here by here. Makes sense, right? We can all imagine this price is possible. Boom, there you go. There's your Gartley. Nailed it. Another Gartley's up here. People say I don't know how to fucking analyze the market, and I don't know don't make fun of the Gartley. I wouldn't dare. Look at this shit up here. I'm saying we're up here. Bitcoin's going up into this fucking Gartley. I guarantee it. Here's your Batwing. Look at this fucking Batwing. Watch this. I'll show you a good Batwing. Here, you want to see a Batwing? Here, look at this one. I call this the sniper shot. I call this the floating internal Batwing of Crabville. Oh, that's a cipher within a cipher. Wait, I call it the pyramid trade as well. It's a pyramid trade. A lot of people don't know about this one. It's worth it. It's worth learning it. Studied a lot of 618s to get here. Didn't come across this just by happenstance. I use a slide rule. Yep, cheated. Use the slide rule again too. I think this is where Bitcoin's going to be in about a year. First it'll go up here, then it'll come back to the apex of this triangle. If you want to buy my book on this kind of analysis, early orders, you can take an early analog only book. Actually, it's actually a 3D book. In fact, The triangles are embossed into the book, so you can pour if you want. The book is done in like a rubber mold, so you can pour your own molds if you want. It's best to hold onto the triangle during the trade is like a well, I have some Nerf triangles, so if you want to squeeze hard, if you're afraid of taking these trades, I do have a $40 grip, triangle grip I'm selling now. I don't want to mention my swag situation because I'm kind of embarrassed about that. I kind of feel like I should give away my secrets. I have a pillow that looks like a triangle. I have a Gartley pillow. There, I said it. I have a Gartley pillow. A friend of mine's been knitting these things, and it seems like when I sleep on my Gartley pillow, I'm coming up with fucking fantastic trades in the middle of the night. And I look at my chart and I'm like, damn, if this isn't the best fucking trade I have been in, because all right, I mentally conditioned myself. I was in this martial arts class, and one of my friend's sons was giving the class, and he said that he'd sleep with a knife under his pillow. I think I talked about this once before. It's a true story. He slept with a knife under his pillow, and depending on his dreams that he had, it determined whether or not this was going to be a good knife for him to keep so he could protect himself on the streets. And later on, he did protect himself. Him and his girlfriend were attacked. So it's not like it didn't work, right? But I think any knife would have worked, but he said, not kidding, that he had to find the right knife. So depending on the dreams he had, and I thought, well, for me, I like to hug my pillow, and I envisioned my finger losing a finger during this testing process to see if it was a good fit for me. But he did it, and I told this story to a lot of people because I think it's like dangerous what he did. But he's such a true believer, and he's a true martial artist. I mean, this is a style that he was a black belt. I mean, he's a fierce guy. Also fit and very dangerous. But I thought, I think I'm going to go with maybe one of those karate stars or something instead. I don't know, just my personal choice. Anyways, that concludes my. I do think I'm going to put the buy limits on the euro tonight, sell limits above. I'm going to trade both directions towards the middle. Standard deviation process. I think this is a sugar high on NASDAQ. Total buy on the Bitcoin, and the triangle calls it out. And this would be the forget my pillow. How about my triangle? I sleep with this fucker. I hug it, and I'm praying on the Gartley pattern to make me a millionaire. Fuck the lottery. There, I said it, and I hope I don't get banned for going against trend change instead of climate change and weather change. I'm pro weather change, and I'm pro tangible Gartley pillows. So I think I'm going to knit some of those up and give them away for Christmas. I'm busy. I got to get back to my knitting and all that jazz, all that stuff. And ready. I got to stuff my turkey. I'm going to deep fry it with C4. I'm going to put C4 in my turkey, and I'm going to see how that goes. It's going to be like a Cajun flash cooking in a pressure pot, just to be on the safe side, in a marathon, in a pressure pot. Things you can't say all at once. As long as you say them all at once, it's okay, right? It's good that now it's because that's static. You got a range trade. That's when the market's ranging, so it can sneak all the money away from you. All the trend traders get stopped out with their tight money management stops and their tight ratios, and they don't want to go underwater, and they don't want to take a loss, so they can't win. And the market's out to get them and stop hunting you. But it's all good. So hang in there. It's going to be, I say, it's fascinating. We have reached the climax moment. The end of the year is here. And people are still wearing the masks. Holy fuck. Stop it with the masks. Listen, here's the thing. My closing thought was the same as I had the last video. If you are in the fucking grocery store and you're wearing a mask and your cart is an electric cart that you're sitting in, and it so happens that your cart, now this is a technique I see a lot. I try not to look because I don't want to laugh out loud. If you've taken the opportunity to use the edge of your cart is a way to hang like 6-packs and 8-packs as like a ballast that you'd see on a ship, like the barrels you'd see on the ropes, or like a dock. And the inside of the cart's also filled with jugs of pop. And there's pop in cans, cases on the bottom platform. And inside where you'd normally put your kid is like chips and dip. Then I don't think you should be wearing a mask, because it's like a Diet Coke with 40 Big Macs and a large fry. Just saying. Anyways, that's my closing thought. And that's a typical scene that you'll see in the grocery store. This is something you see. It's a thing. It's a real thing, people. It does happen. You don't want it to happen, but it does happen. I'm trying to talk as quiet as I can. People say my video's quiet. I'm trying to get under the robot radar. Don't want to end up in, when the SWAT teams break into your house, come through like Tuttle instead of Buttle, or is it Buttle instead of Tuttle? They come through the ceiling there. I cut the holes with a laser now. SWAT team comes down poles into your house. Be careful, people. Silent running. Can you hear me? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me? Let's get to the shelter, okay? Grab your Gartleys. Let's get to the shelter, people.